Excellent. So welcome aboard to this session. I'm going to share my screen to get started. So this session that we're going to be doing today is all about OneNote and all things leveling up your OneNote game. So I'm assuming that everybody who's coming into this session will have some sort of experience with OneNote. If not, I'll share some links later on, or there are some in this OneNote that you can use. Just to double check, can you see this screen at the moment? Vibna, I can see you, so can you just give me a thumbs up if we can see it, please? Fantastic, excellent, thanks. Any questions we have, if you pop them in the chat for me, I will address them at the end, or my delightful friend Steve, who I've just stopped in, might answer those for me, or Kathy is here as well, just for a little while, and she will share them too. So as all things Pip does, I've got a takeaway for you. So this OneNote, you should be able to open it. I always say that first time someone opens it. It's at bit.ly/level up OneNote. So everything I'm doing here and all the links are available for you through that. I will share this through Twitter later on in the day as well. I have also prepared all of today's links in a Wakelet, which is you can get to from here. Probably if you do a search for me on Wakelet, you will find some of the links. So everything I talk about will be here for you to get to. So what are we going to do today? We're going to have, first of all, I'll introduce myself properly in a second. We're going to have a look at OneNote. We're going to look at blinging up just your general use of OneNote. Then we're going to look at some of the different things we can do to help our students just in a nice light way that have some issues accessing content. Then we're going to look at embedding content. Going to look at some examples of some, I call them organic textbooks that I've used for project-based learning, and then we may have a look at some hyperdocking using OneNote. So another thing that I do quite a lot that you might like to get to is my OneNote Teacher Planner, and you can find this at bit.ly Teacher Planner. I had one more thing to do before I started this webinar, right? And that was to put this link here. Let me just quickly make that a lot bigger. And this is a teacher planner that Megan Towns and I put together every year. And you'll notice from this that, that some of the stuff I'm talking about today is in here as well. So let's get started. Who am I? So anyone who doesn't know me, I'm Pip Cleaves. I'm currently a Deputy Principal of Innovation across 4 schools in the Newcastle area. So I work predominantly in high schools at the moment, but I've also worked quite a lot in primary schools. I'm a bit of a geeky person. I love innovation. But with innovation comes technology. So I sit in 2 spaces of playing in innovation while I play in technology. So I'm a Microsoft person. Some of my schools are also Google people, so I play in the Google space too. I'm an Adobe person, and I like to make sure that everything I integrate has meaning to students and isn't just for the bling factor. So I'll breathe for a second. All right, so first up, there's my welcome and introduction. I am on Twitter as Pip Cleaves if you'd like to follow me. I can't promise any quality coming out of that account, but it's there for you if you would like it. So for my New South Wales education people who may be watching or maybe on, or anyone else, we have different versions of OneNote available to us. So we have the good old 2016 OneNote, which is what you can see on your screen now with the tabs across the top. This is sort of like the default inside New South Wales Education, which is why I'm showing you. However, today I'm going to be using the OneNote app. The reason I like to use the OneNote app is because it's nice and new, and I think it's better. It's a better sort of experience when you're embedding content, and it just looks a bit better. It's the same as the web version. So if you're at the front of your class using OneNote and the students log in and use your OneNote through Teams, they're going to get the same view from the web version. So to have a look at the web version, here's the web version here, and you can see we have the same tabs down the side as the app version and tabs on the top. And for some reason, my icons just disappeared there. Interesting. So I'm going to be hanging out in the app and the online version for today. New South Wales, you can always find, if you want to change over New South Wales people, if you type down in your little search magnifying glass doohickey thingy bob and you type OneNote, you'll see that you have the two come up. You'll want to choose the OneNote Windows 10. The OneNote 2016 that's installed in New South Wales Education is about 18 months old now, so it chews data and you may end up with syncing issues. Another good reason to change over. There we go, that's enough for New South Wales stuff. Alrighty, moving on. What we might do is play then with some of the next level stuff if we like. So I'm going to start a new page for this. Just going to whiz this page down here actually, and we are going to play with some tables to start with. So tables are a little bit dodgy in OneNote, not dodgy, but they're a bit limited, shall we say. So we can't merge cells, fair enough. We can't play around with things too much. But that's okay, because what we can do is we can actually use our shading to play around with stuff. So I would recommend using shading as much instead of merging things. So play with your shading tool quite a lot. Don't forget that we can head into more colors and you can start, I actually think this, okay, anyone who knows me knows them. I'm a little bit pedantic about what things look like. So for me, having the ability to grab that sort of color spectrum is a really cool addition that you can only get in the OneNote 10 app. I would recommend that for sure. So some examples of how I use tables in my OneNote space. I never leave students to do anything without a table, basically. Sorry, I'm just hunting for something. I should have got this ready. Pokemon, that's where it all is. That's where it's at, guys. See, I've got lots of tables in here. I use tables for everything. So anything I want the students to type, I'll use a table for them to actually do that typing, or else they will lose their way. Just the nature of it being the biggest piece of butcher's paper in the universe means that we will have students not doing things they'll need a little bit more help. So Deb, no, you can't have this OneNote. Yes, you can. I'll get it to you if you want. So I would recommend doing that, using tables as much as possible, and making your font large. All right, back to my session here. So our tables allow us to do things. We can also hide borders. So we can't merge, but we can take the borders off our tables. And in a way, if you think well, that allows you to start playing with things a little bit better. So my we can pop in an image inside a table these days. Let me just pick a little tiny image that I have here. And so that sits nicely inside a cell for you to then type. We can then, if we get rid of click on the table tab, hide our borders, everything works quite nicely for us. I would recommend that. Are there any questions? I'm opening the mic to you guys. No, good, excellent. Oh, hang on, go for it. Good, I'm going to keep going then. So we can click tables, maths. Let's head to maths. So if I wanted to play with some, I'm just going to type. Thank you. Maths is a really cool tool inside OneNote. As she quickly realizes she forgot to get her pen out. There we go. So if I wanted to play around, maths teachers, raise your hand. Don't be backwards. I'm going to the insert tab and I'm going to click on maths and I have a new thing out. I am going to try to, of course today, because I'm going to see how this is doing this, plus Thank you. It's a bit slow because I'm on a Teams session, so things sort of slow down a little bit. Just 2 seconds. So what I'm doing is typing. I don't even know if what I'm typing is a maths equation, guys, just quietly, because I'm no mathematician. As you can see, I'm a Japanese teacher. So I'm going to highlight around what I just typed. I'm then going to choose the maths button. See, it didn't read it. It's going to fix it. I can't really fix it. Dang it. We nearly got there. So the maths editor will allow us to do some really fun stuff. Will we try again? I don't think this is going to work. Why don't if I just do, why don't I just go 3? We'll try and do this simply for a second. Isn't that amazing how it does that? 3y. Thank you. Equals 5. There we go. Let's see how this goes. Excellent. Click on maths. Yes, it worked. Ooh, claps all around. I can choose to solve for the y. Ooh, and I can actually look at how that was done if I had any interest in that. But one of the things I love the most is generating a practice quiz. So how many questions would I like in my practice quiz? 5. And the reason I love this option is that students can start personalize what they're doing. So if they've done some work in class, they can generate a quiz and share that. You can then go and look through the class notebook tool at their OneNote page and see their quiz. It self-marks, so students can go through and answer. Let's just go random, yeah? Crazy times, crazy things. Doodly-doo, submit, and it will tell me that I got that one wrong. Oh, I got one right, exciting, and I got lots wrong. So reason I love this is because it allows us to personalise learning and for students to extend themselves as much as possible. So that again is in the insert. It's also in the draw tab and is the maths area there. Now, stickers. Let's have a bit of a, actually, I think I'm jumping ahead, but maybe that's okay. No, I'm up to stickers. Yay. So I love stickers, and we have some generic stickers in our OneNotes under the sticker tab that you can use. So we can just go with things like this. We can go into, oh no, I don't like that one. That's a cranky face. I don't like cranky faces for students. Let's go with a germy germ. And we can use those stickers in whatever way we want. Or we can head over to, I'm in the web version of my OneNote now. I'm going to click on this page here, which is syncing across. And I'm going to put some of my own Bitmojis in here. So just quickly, thank you. Just want to make some, there we go. So I want to put some of my own Bitmojis that I've developed into here. So I've installed the Bitmoji extension into my Chrome browser. And yes, I do use Chrome for this sort of stuff. So straight away, I can add my Bitmoji. It's been copied. So then I can paste it. Ugh. That didn't work like I wanted it to. Let's try again. Right click and choose copy image. That's what I did wrong. Control V. And there's my little Bitmoji icon for my students just coming through now. It comes in really big, and that's fine because all you need to do is just click and make it a bit smaller. Once you get it set up once, you just Control C, hold it in your fingers as I say, and then you can paste it multiple times on a page as you go through. So you can use Bitmoji for stickers. and I should imagine Desmos would love that one. And then another icon another thing you can use is the Emoji Keyboard from Joy Pixels. So I've added this extension to my keyboard. I can search for words or find information like, let's go with a thumbs up emoji. And it's been copied. So once again, go to my page, Control V, and I get the smaller icon. So you could create your own visual language across school. So, you know, what I would do in my classroom is create a bit of a poster probably of all the different emoticons that I'm going to use for different marking and different language as I'm giving feedback to students. And then I can quickly just pop the emoticons down on a page for students, handy to use. So once again, Bitmoji extension and Joy Pixels extension are my favorites. The Joy Pixels extensions is also how, actually no it's not, some of them are, some of them aren't. So you'll notice that my pages have little emoticons at the front. So just say I wanted to put an emoticon in front of a demo page, I would go to my Joy Pixels and I would click on let's say for this one, we're going to go with a smiley face and pop into here, Control V, and I have my emoticon there. Another way I can do it, and I'm going to head back to the OneNote app. So say you're not on the internet and you're just working from the app. If you click on the Windows button and the semicolon, so Windows semicolon, you'll get your own emoticons pop-up or emoticons or different language that you can use. So if I wanted to put a first place medal at the front of this and type, then that's there for me. I can go back and change it anytime. That emoticon I took out on the web just before I popped over, Windows and semicolon, and then I can choose an emoticon to go with it. Now, for students who have have issues accessing text sometimes, we know that visual language can be a really good way to hook them into learning in the classroom. So again, emoticons, we go through either Bitmoji or Joy Pixels. There's another couple of emoticon extensions out there, but I just like Joy Pixels. It gives me what it gives me quite cool. Or I can go back into the app itself and use the Windows and semicolon. Just so you know, you can do this in Teams as well. So in Teams, if you want to label your channels with emoticons, create the channel first of all, then go back in and edit the channel name and do the same Windows semicolon, and you can put your emoticon at your channel, which is really cool for students. I'm not logged into my Department of Education main Teams area at the moment, so I can't show you that. But I know, Aviva, we were talking about young students. This may be a way to help them guide them through your channel, your team as well. Okay. Any questions at this stage, guys? No. Just quickly also show you the researcher tab. New South Wales Education people, this isn't here yet, so I apologise for it incredibly. So if I was doing some work on Japan, I could research from inside OneNote. And if I wanted some stuff on the history of Japan, and when I choose to add this to my OneNote, it will usually gives us a nice link. So if I was to click on this little plus here, it's going to add it to our OneNote for us. Now, I'm not one for a great amount of text, so what I would do at that point would ask students to go back through with the highlighter tool, for instance, and highlight the important points and then rewrite that in their own words using some sort of scaffold that you've given them. So once again, how did I do that? In the insert, let me just turn it off. On the insert, choose researcher, type in Newcastle. Whoops, I need to do Australia. Really? I doubt that very much.
There
we go.
May I ask a question?
Yep.
This researcher tab is supposed to be enabled by the admin?
Sorry, could you ask that again?
Yeah, the researcher tab has to be enabled by admin.
It must have to be because it's not turned on in New South Wales education. So I should imagine that, yes, that's the case.
Yeah, because it's not turned on mine as well.
Looks like you get to email your admin.
Yep.
Lucky you. Fun times. So that's a researcher tab. And just because I need to do another page, I will show you why I'm getting a banner on the top of all these pages as I add them, by the way. And forms allows us to bring in any form that is in the same Office 365 area that we're in, or create a new quiz on the spot and insert that. But I'm actually going to insert, this is that Microsoft form that was created in Maths. So it kept that form for me. So I can add this to my OneNote and students can all complete it. And when I go back to my forms area, so if I head back into forms, thank you very much, Lee. If I head back into my forms, that quiz is there, so I can go in and see all my student responses, and I can download in an Excel all the student responses and use those for my grading system. If you're using a third-party grading system in your school, then you can go back and grab that data and pop it across into your grading system. So once again, all I did was clicked on the forms option and chose or created a form on the spot. Personally, I create them beforehand so that they're all ready to go and I don't lose my place. So I think that's that sort of bling ready to go. Just a really quick, I know there are other webinars and I would recommend them on supporting literacy needs. Some of the really simple things that we can do is head into our view page and we can change our page color. So say you have some students that have Erlen lenses, we can change the color, and I would show those students how to do this as well to the color that they need. There are more colors that they can choose. Say a student needs a stronger blue, they're able to do that. This is also great for your formatting, and you could create your own sort of color style as you go through. We can also, within a page, we can also change lines on a page to be have the old-fashioned border. Remember that? We used to write borders on a page, draw them. Anyway, we won't go there. So we've got our options here to make small lines or big lines. This can be handy if your students are using their pen to help them guide some drawing. So for me as a Japanese teacher, if my students had script, I would use this as a script, if they had a pen, sorry, I'd be using this as a script practice area for them. Once again, how did I do that? Into the view, click on the page color and choose your page color. You might even do this for different units of work. Just be wary that if you do have students with some colourblind issues and things like that in your class, you may need to be wary of that. So we can change our colour. We also have the Immersive Reader available to us. I'm not going to go in depth into this, but this is available for your students, and in online learning it's really important to show students this so they can access text at home. And the Immersive Reader. Hello, go for it. So this allows us to have the text read back to us, basically. We can change things like the size of the text. We can change the actual font. I like the Sitka font. I think that's good for students that are accessing. It makes it easy for them to read. I can, again, change the colour. There's more options for me. Show students how to do this so that they're able to support themselves. We can also turn on all the nouns and adjectives. I would actually use this with some of my senior students as we level up our language understanding. And I can just click on one word and it can read that for me. If there is a pictograph for that word, it will show up as well. So that's a very, very quick introduction to Immersive Reader. It is appearing more and more across a lot of third-party apps as well. So teach your students around that, get them supported. And then a little tiny tool, which I think is really cool, is let me go to, demo 2 page, is this replay button. And the replay button will show you in order what was put down on your page. So it will read back to you. So say you're a maths teacher, you've had your pen, you've done some working out on the page. It will go through and go through your working out in order for you. You can also do this to your students' work to see how they've done their working out as well. It's a nice little tool that can be used. So the area that I've just shown you now is the view bar, the Immersive Reader, page color, rules, and then the replay button. Now, one of my pet peeves is when I get OneNotes that have the authors written on them here, so you can see the author. I hate that. So I just come straight up here and turn the authors off so that I can see what I'm talking about and move forward in that way. Alrighty, tickety tick, tick, tick. Okay, what I would like to show you now is how I make my banners and how I do some of the bling stuff. So in my teacher draft, I decided to use this color theme. So I have the front page ready to go, and then across the top of all the pages, I have a banner showing. Something else that I do, if I head back to my OneNote game and I click on General, I always start the year with a nice banner, and then I will put in my expectations of what students need to do. So anything I would do with them face-to-face, I would do in my OneNote for them. I'll explain a bit of a, So I use images quite a lot, and sometimes I'll get those from online, and sometimes I'll make them myself. So I'm going to show you how I make my banners and all my stuff right now. So I am a Canva user. So Canva now has an education account that you can use. This one isn't an education account, but by all means, use whichever account works for you. And the best sizing I've found for the top strip is the leaderboard graphic. So if you type in leaderboard, it'll give you an option, and you can see, grab some different basic designs that you might like. So for this one, I might use, let's go with, for what I'm playing with. Oh, I can't decide because I'm online and my brain doesn't work. I'll choose one that's got a solid color on the left because that's where the text is going to go. So this is the one I'm going to use, and I need to find some images. So I've got a few little images that I've uploaded over the years, but if I wanted my own image, I always use a website called Unsplash. Unsplash is a free, royalty-free, Creative Commons free. Every student in the universe should know about this website. Every teacher should know about it. So if I wanted something like a rainbow pattern, because I'm going to put that on the right-hand side of my banner, I can come on here and I might just go like, oh, just pick the first one. I just click on this download here. It downloads it. It says you can say thanks if you want, but you don't need to. So I'm then going to head to Canva and I'm going to upload my image. To my downloads, that's the image. And I'm going to pull that across, pop it in there like that. Of course, orange is my least favorite color in the universe. So I'm going to make that red. And then I'm going to type in here. Actually, no, I'm going to remove that because this is going to be where the OneNote strip with the page name comes up. Oh, that was really clever. Thank you. And I might put a little bit of a something over on the right-hand side over here. So I'm going to pop. So when this happens, you use your arrow and bring it across rather than your other. So this isn't the best choice of icons to put over here just quietly because it's white and we can't see it much. But you choose whatever icon you want. When you're ready to go, you can download it. If you do have the option to make it bigger, you might do that, depending on the type of account you have that. So that's been downloaded into my OneNote, into my downloads. I'm going to create a new page, and this one will be aptly called Demo 4. For the sake of this, I'm going to delete that. So I'm going to insert my banner, insert picture. From file, straight into desktop. There it is, ready to go. Could have labeled that better, by the way. And I just sit it underneath and pull it out. Actually, these days OneNote keeps proportions without having to press the shift button, which is very nice. So there's my banner ready to go. The black's not working so well for me. So I'm going to turn this into white. And I've got this little thing, and Megan Towns, if you're watching, you'll know, you'll laugh at me. I delete the date just because I'm Pip. So once you've put that banner up the top, it kind of pins the page as far up to the left and the top as can be. The last thing you need to do for this is right click on the image, set picture as background. Once you've done that, no student in the universe is ever going to move that until they work out set picture as background. It just keeps a bit of integrity of your design, really. Now, I've made this banner, and from this point forward, I want every page in this section to have this applied as a template. So I always do this. I take a lot of time to get my template sorted because I know there's a lot less pain afterwards. So once I've done that, I've got it all sorted. Now I want every page to have this banner set as default template. So right click on your page, set as default template. Yep, whatever you want me to do, we're doing. Press add. So now can you see it's even copied the page name for me. So I can pop in here and just go demo 5, demo 6. And that gives me a little bit of color branding. So I wasn't so sophisticated back when I created this sort of OneNote. However, you'll see that, oh yeah, I've got a little sort of button on the side. So to help students with their use of OneNote, I put as many little buttons or things across the top so that they understand which they can get a visual of where they are. So, because let's be honest, sometimes students just don't cope with OneNote when they start. They find it a sort of different way to work. So I would encourage using colours and banners and buttons for your different units of work as you work through them. So once again, you can see how I'm using tables to preload. I don't leave a lot of room for students to just go crazy in OneNote because they will, and you'll never find the work that you want. So I'm very much one for creating scaffolds and sending them to my students. So you can see we've got banners there for you. I think I saw a Japanese person join before, so apologies for always talking about Japan in this from a foreigner's concept. So some other things you can do with templates while we're at it, page templates, is these are some templates that have been created in order to scaffold student learning. So this is some work I did for Microsoft a while ago in Australia, and we worked on finding the most used sort of scaffolds for students to help them planning. Now, these can be used with a pen, very slowly, of course, or students can just tap. And the reason they're working so well with the tapping, and have you ever found as you use OneNote, students will tap and the base scaffold will move around? That is because I have set the picture as a background. So when you're bringing in an image or a PDF, set the picture as a background, and then students will just click straight away and the work can be done. Thank you. So some of the others, and this is available to you, by the way, we've gone through, looked at some of some really cool sort of scaffolds that we use all the time with students, 2 stars and a wish. So you can take these pages and move or copy them into whichever section you want in your OneNote or even across OneNotes. So once you've done this sort of thing, you can use them over and over again to do what you need to. So we've also gone through and done all the visible thinking from Harvard, the visible thinking scaffolds to use in OneNote. You can take these pages and do whatever you like with them. You can remove the banner at the top by set picture as background and delete that if you like. Put your own banner in there, do whatever you like. It's there for you. But how did we do this, putting a PDF on a page like this? Well, this is one of the things I do all the time. Let's go to demo 4 and I will go into insert, printout. I will go to my desktop and print the page. Then I delete this PDF because the reason I delete it is I know that students, some of them open it and try and do the PDF and it's like, no, I don't want you to do that. I right click, set picture as background, and then I talk to the students through my text. You will, please complete the worksheet or the work below by blah, 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 blah. Give your instructions to the students so that they fill everything out on the page. Students can then come along and just type what they need to on each page. Easy done, easy done. So again, how did I do that? Insert, print out, always have it as a PDF anyway, paste it on, delete the original file. I have this mission these days to make OneNotes without any files in them, set picture as background, because the minute you start putting files like that PDF inside your OneNote, you are setting yourself up for a little bit of syncing issues sometimes. So what we need to do then is start working with embedding stuff. And this is for embedding things. Let's go. So there's a whole heap of things we can embed in our OneNote now. So this link you can get to will take you to an updated list, and this updates regularly, so come back here every now and then, of all the sites that very, 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 very simply embed content on OneNote. So I've picked some of them here that might be interesting for people that are online. So first of all, if you use Desmos graphing calculator, you can put your graphing work on your OneNote and do all sorts of fun stuffs. How do we do this? Very simply. If I go to the Desmos tab, here we go, here's one. So this is a Desmos I've prepared earlier. By the way, I'm not even logged in. I created an activity. I'm going to copy the URL. I'm going to go back to my OneNote, and this is where OneNote 16 does not work at all for this. Control V, paste it on there, and it automatically puts that embed on the page for me. So I can refresh, and it's there for students. Now, students will have the same view when they come online. Excel does this as well for us these days. So if I just let that, oops, sorry. If I head out to OneNote, this is that full document, so I can open the Excel file whenever I want, but the Excel is actually sitting on the page here, and I can edit within the page. It gives me that option. I wouldn't do this for huge Excels, but some work students are working on, you can have a look at that. Just click on this bottom right, and it takes you out to the full-size version of the workbook. If you're a music teacher, flat.io allows you to embed some music onto your page. Now, I'm no music teacher. It will even play it back for you if you had notes on it. So this demo, click on the link, head out to my Googles. Once again, if I share this with friends, grab the share link. No, I'm just going to grab that link up there. Really. And then I'm going to go back here and paste it on and cross my fingers that I got the right link. Yep. And it pops it onto the page for us. So you can see how by embedding things on, we're actually taking away the heaviness by putting files into our OneNote. We're making them actually look better. I talked about forms before, so I'm not going to go back there. So if you've been using Genially, which is quite a new tool, but quite a nice one, I would probably use this in my classroom. It's sort of like an interactive presentation tool. This looks a lot nicer on a page than a lot of other stuff that's around. So by using what we've already created previously, by using different tools, we're exposing students to different tools, we're making them understand different ways we can share information across the web, and by popping it onto our OneNote, makes it look pretty. Geogebra, very similar to Desmos, allows us to do our maths online. Here we go. How big is 58%? And I can even interact on the page. There we go there. Beautiful. Next, adjust your guess if you like. There we go. Check answer. Oh, there we go. For science teachers, many of you may use the Colorado University's PhET simulations. These embed beautifully on a page as well. So once again, we click and we can interact. Oh dear, I haven't done chemistry for years. Let's see if that's right. There we go. Yay, I got it right. Woohoo! Even your PowerPoint. So students, especially remote learning or even in the classroom, it's handy for them to have the PowerPoints to refer back to later on. So you can pop a PowerPoint on a page by jumping online, opening that PowerPoint through your OneDrive, grabbing the share link. Hello. Thank you. Copy the link. Just make sure that you pop down here. Don't allow editing first. Yeah, handy. So copy the link, head to your OneNote, paste the link. Actually, no, that's probably the wrong one. Maybe? No, it's the wrong one. You know why it's the wrong one? Because we actually have to grab this link up the top. So you grab the URL and that works. So see how I grab the share link? Don't do that. Grab the URL and then that will embed it, and people can come along, students can come along, and they can go through the work. They can also full page, so it opens it up onto the internet, and they can access that presentation through the browser. So all of a sudden, your OneNote is becoming this beautiful interactive space. Now, Quizlet is a tool that I've used for many, many years. In my classroom. I think it was even one of the first web tools that I used. So if you grab a quiz from Quizlet and you pop it onto your OneNote, it will actually turn it into, so this is the flashcards, and I can practice my flashcards. Green, midori, purple, murasaki, and I can practice my words. So this is great for low-level knowledge stuff that students may need to do at home. It's really handy. If I press the play, goodbye. Did you hear that? Let me do it again. Hang on. I want to go to a Japanese one. Okay, there we go.
Hi, genki desu.
It will read it out to the students, so really great for them. SoundCloud, if any of you do podcasting in your classroom or there's some music. So yes, this is something for New South Wales people that may not work inside school because of filtering, but we all need students to do work at home sometimes. And in a remote situation, in a remote learning situation, this is a really good fix for students. So Deb, any language teachers, you can upload if you're creating podcasts for students. Anything to do with audio can be uploaded and shared. Videos such as stream. Now this is going to come up as not working because it's stream in a different tenant. So this is the stream that's sitting inside Department of Education. I'm going to be doing a webinar on this in a week or so, and this is an interactive stream. Thanks, Jess. This stream video has a form attached to it, so students have to do a quiz as they watch through. If I click on this interactive here, a little quiz will pop up to be completed while we watch the video. So because this is embedded in OneNote, the forms is going to come up in the OneNote. So I'm not losing my students to go out to the internet to find stuff. They can watch the video and do the form all in the one space. Spotify. There's some great podcasts on Spotify, and one of those that I love for students is this Squiz Kids. It's a 7-minute news. It's an Australian content, a 7-minute news podcast every day. So you could pop this podcast on the page. If students are at home, they can watch it, or you could watch it at school. You could get it ready to watch with the classroom. Sway, when students create sways or when you create sways, you can pop it on a page. And all we need to do to make this happen, so you can see here, I'm going through my sway. So a lot of the Office 365 environments will play nicely inside OneNote. Grab the URL, pop back to here, place the URL, and it will embed it immediately onto the page for you. So that's a nice little sway. If students do their own sway assignments, there's nothing to stop them for posting their assignment by putting a sway on a page that allows them then to share their work with you. And if you've used Class Notebook in assignments in Teams, this allows students to submit their work via OneNote. ThingLink, been around for a few years. ThingLink is a fantastic multi-dimensional tool. I'm just going to make this a bit bigger here. Let's go bigger, go big or go home. And it's interactive. So students and teachers can create posters on ThingLink and just share that link. If I pop out to the web here, once you've created your ThingLink, that's it there. All you need to do again, grab the URL, head back to OneNote, paste it on, and it will pop it into your OneNote for you. Great for either you as you're teaching or for students for assignments. Wakelet is a fantastic tool for curating. Our students aren't the best researchers, we know that, right? So if you do that research for students and create a Wakelet and then embed it on a page, you're almost like becoming the library and the curator for students. So everything I'm showing you today is on a Wakelet, and it is here. So just to show you how one can work, This is one that I've created, really easy. Say you've got a senior class and there's maybe 5 or 6 websites that you need your students to go to all the time. You may make a Wakelet out of those and pop them onto the OneNote, pop that Wakelet link onto the OneNote, embed it in there. Wisers I'm seeing more and more lately. Wiser allows you to make an interactive worksheet online. It's asking me to sign in, but that's okay. I'm just going to click and head out to it. Make interactive worksheets so students can complete them. This was the worksheet. As long as you have an account, you can log in and complete that. It's a really cool tool. It allows you to do fun stuff. This sort of stuff, yeah, we can kind of do it in OneNote, but it's more interesting and it's more interactive and it's more fun for students if we start doing things online like this. But getting students to this information is very confusing. So by embedding them into our OneNote page, it allows us to keep the students contained and keep them working. There we go. There's that worksheet ready to go. They're probably going to ask to sign in again. I think I used a different account for the Wiser than I have the OneNote. Word documents these days. So instead of putting a Word document on a page, yes, it's going to be collaborative. Either put the text on the page like a Word document and they fill it in, or pop it in your OneDrive and embed it on the page. And that's right. So just like I did with the PowerPoint, you don't use the share button. Don't use this share functionality. No, use the URL at the top. Head to the OneNote, make sure you got permissions sorted, and it will embed it on the page for you. And lastly, of course it's done that right now. Thank you. YouTube. So YouTube will embed beautifully on a page. Sure, it's still not going to view for them if it's filtered. My New South Wales friends, Stream is your answer for that. But it will embed it for them to watch at home. So online learning, homework, weekend work, whatever the go is, research, anything like that. So Control V, paste it on. I like to make them a bit bigger because I want students to be able to see stuff easily. You'll note that a lot of my work ends around about the dictate line. I do this because a lot of the laptops, the smaller laptops that students use, that's about the width of their screen, the width of their resolution. So it just sits nicely inside the frame for them. Trying to stop scrolling too much is a really important thing to do. Now, thank you. Some other things we can do within our OneNote then in our last 5 minutes is using Hyperdocs. So I don't know if any of you have been exploring the Hyperdoc phenomenon. That tends to sit inside the Google space. So if you do a little bit of a Google for Hyperdocs without your caps on, you'll see there's a Hyperdocs website and there's all sorts of templates. A Hyperdoc is basically a hyperlinked, self-directed sheet that sends students off, a bit like an old-fashioned web quest, if you like, and it allows students to self-direct. A lot of this is done in, you'll see this is a Google form. So what we can do, I've always thought that we can turn this into a OneNote session, which is very true. And you'll see here that the people who do that kind of posted about it as well. Here's that template. So what you would do is come along and type in here what you want students to do. I would probably swap out these images for Bitmojis that are appropriate for that. And I would put all the instructions for students on this page. There's a one page then, a lesson of work that can be done for students or a couple of lessons of work. Another way to look at the Hyperdoc or project-based learning or whatever is by creating a page with the unit title, pop the driving question on, You might use an image to inspire the unit. You may go to Canva and create that and bring it in, or you may just go to Unsplash and find an image. First, you'll see that I have made the pages sub-pages. So OneNote has put in this here. We can right-click and make things sub-pages to indent them. So it can give you a little bit more depth in your structuring of your OneNote if you do that. So learn, let's put our activities for the learn component of this unit, our activities for the explore component, the wonder and wow. So you can see how we're scaffolding the unit of work through the OneNote. I do this myself through OneNote. My project-based learning, learn, create, share was a way that I used to do my learning in my classroom. So all the learn activities are through here. Then we do the create activities, and you'll see I've got a little bit of a header on each page, and then the share, which is usually the project. So using Hyperdocs can be a great way for you to bring your OneNote up to a little bit more of a organic textbook sort of a structure, if you like. So to wrap it all up, that went very quickly. Everything for today is in this Level Up OneNote. And inside that OneNote, you'll see today's links is a Wakelet with all the different things that I have embedded and shown throughout the session. And I guess the key is to try, for me, OneNote is about not leaving students any room where they have to make stuff. I try and structure and scaffold as much as I can, and I try and make it as visual and clear for them to know where they are at any one time, because I know until we get the students get the skills they need to create their own OneNotes, it's not something that they do freely and easily. So go make beautiful things. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and see if there are any questions for me at the moment. I hope that's helped. All right, I do see, do we have any questions? Hands up if you've got a question, or just ask if you've got any questions. Yes, V. So V, I see you have your hand up.
Oh, it was funny, right?
You're all good now? You don't need that? Yeah. All right. Any other questions? Please pop your hand up and I can answer. No?
The OneNote game that you've shared, is there any way I download it or do it at some other point?
Sorry, that OneNote link is there for you. I won't be shutting it down. It's there for you to use whenever you like. What else did you want to know? Sorry.
Can I just embed it into my OneNote, or I can't use it?
It's not something you can embed. What you can do is once you've opened the OneNote, you can copy content from this OneNote by using the I better share my screen before I dig in and show you that one. 2 seconds. There we go. So if you wanted to move anything from OneNote, my OneNote, to your own OneNote, right click on a page or a section, move or copy, choose your OneNote. So for this one, let's choose Year 8 class notebook, choose a section and choose copy.
Okay, because
and then
I didn't open my own OneNote at all. With this open, my OneNote opens in a different tab. So it was kind of strange.
Yes. Oh, I see, because it's a view functionality. Yeah. I haven't given you edit functionality. So what you would probably do in that case is go to the online version, move or copy, and choose, move it, yep. Just copy the content on a page then. You can do that as well.
Yeah. I mean, I like the way it is organized. That's what I was looking at.
Yeah, just come back to it and be inspired by it by as much as you need. Let me stop sharing my screen. Thank you. Any other questions? Yes, I can see Cherie, you have your hand up.
Hi, Pip. Thanks for all your info. I just wanted to check with the Sway, if students embed it into OneNote, does it keep updating their changes because it's just a URL?
Yes.
Or so are they're going the share link still, or are they just copying
the share link?
Yeah,
so
okay.
grab the share link for it. The beauty of an embed, it's just a window back to the original resource.
Yeah, great.
So it's going to keep embedding. So I know someone who did a beautiful hack. They had their school calendar was a Google Calendar, and they wanted to embed that calendar on their OneNote. So they embedded the Google Calendar onto a Sway, and then embedded the Sway onto their OneNote, so that they had their school calendar, just resized it appropriately, and whammo, it worked beautifully.
Yeah, fantastic. So yeah, Excel would be the same, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Sharing the link, it's all updating. Perfect.
Exactly.
All right.
Yep.
That's great.
Thanks, Cherie. Jay Will, you might have a question for me, I see.
The previous person may have partially answered my question, but I was wondering, if you do embed, say, a Word document or an Excel or something like that into a page, if a student then edits or makes changes to that, is that making changes to the original, or is that their own copy that they're editing?
It's the original. So it's not their own copy. It's the collaboration sort of aspect. So if I was to go and if I just quickly jump back to the, oh no, I'm not sharing my screen. Yeah, so if you make any changes at any point, that's going to reflect back through. And yes, those Word docs and PowerPoints are individual, collaborative. For that instance, I would be using the class notebook tool inside Teams if you're a Teams user, and then students ask them to type directly into the OneNote.
Okay, so if they type into the OneNote in Teams, it's their own copy, or?
If they type, not the Word document, sorry, I didn't explain myself properly. So unless you want it to be collaborative, then don't use that option. If you want them to type individually, either create an assignment with a Word document and tick the box that says each student edits their own copy, or in class notebook, in the student section, ask them to do their typing directly into their OneNote.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. And Bryony?
So I'm just wondering whether you've got any tips or tricks for getting early childhood kids onto Teams and OneNote, because that's where I'm heading next.
Okay, so I'm going to say to you, come along. I've got a Teams session. I've got to open hours on Sunday. So come along to that and we can talk all things Teams. For OneNote, I probably, I'm being really honest. I'm an honest person. I wouldn't go into OneNote with early childhood students. I just don't feel it's an easy journey for them in this instance. I would use it to for portfolio their stuff. So if I was a teacher, I'd be taking images and sharing directly from my phone. So I use my phone a lot with OneNote, so my OneNote sync across. I'd be taking photos and doing all that evidence and audio and all that sort of stuff and putting it into, or my own organisation and programming. But in terms of students accessing it, I probably wouldn't go there that much.
Okay, so that's sort of how I'm using it now. I've got it set up. I use it for my planning and putting stuff in that they've done. So, yay.
Great.
All right, thank you.
Awesome. No worries. Laura, question. Laura? Nope.
I got to turn my microphone on. Sorry.
Yay!
My question is that if you were to embed the YouTube video into the OneNote, can they watch it in there without actually going to the YouTube video and getting all the apps?
Yes, indeedy do they can. So if let me just go back, let me just go to my OneNote, just sharing my screen if you're wondering what I'm talking weirdly for. So if I was to head back to today's OneNote, head down into my embed, go to the YouTube. So that's the YouTube here that you can see. You can see there's no ads at this point, and it will play, right? So
Okay.
it's playing that, but just know that if I go to that YouTube, it actually does have an ad on the top of it at the beginning of it. So it's taking the ad away as it embeds it in OneNote.
If they click on the YouTube, Words YouTube, will it take them back to you out of the YouTube?
Yep, it will. It will.
So they still have to know not to do that. And if YouTube is blocked at their house, they still won't be able to watch it.
That's correct, because this is just a window through. So in New South Wales education, YouTube is blocked to all students under 15, so they can't watch it. But in terms of me setting up my OneNote so I can teach from it, it's a very handy way to stop me. Oh, hang on, I've just got to go to YouTube, all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Right. All right. Thank you.
No worries. Just coming back. Are there any other questions at this stage? Anyone? Bueller. I'll just turn Laura's hand off. I love lower hand. So cool. Any other questions? If not, hey Tara. If not, I might just say goodbye to you all then. I hope, oh yeah, I will just share one more time in the chat pod. Any Australians who are online, there's a couple of these Global EdTech Academy sessions that are Sydney friendly. So please do join. I've got another couple of sessions coming up on Sunday, Australian time, Saturday, same time, 10 o'clock. I will be doing just an open office hours, so come along and ask questions. Lord knows where that's going to take us. And then next in August, I'm doing a session on stream with interactive forms. So how we can create videos that stop and students fill out questions along the way. So please do join me for that. Thank you very much. I'm going to stop recording now. Steve, thanks for being my wingman. And thanks everyone for joining us. Wherever you are, please do stay safe. And please look after yourselves as best you can at these times. Alrighty, bye from Newcastle. See you later, guys. Bye.